Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, accompanied by the Secretary of Homeland Security and the Acting Director of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem performed by Petty Officer First Class Dan Lee Cuenca of the United States Navy.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Ms. Cuenca. That was a beautiful rendition. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tracy Renaud, and I'm the Acting Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. It's an honor to be here today with you to welcome you as new citizens to the United States. Before I begin, I'd like to thank President Biden for hosting this very special naturalization ceremony, and Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas of the Department of Homeland Security for joining us. I have the privilege today of calling the countries of the naturalization candidates. Before I begin, can the audience all please be seated? Candidates, when you hear your country of nationality, please stand and remain standing. Afghanistan, Canada, China, Colombia, Egypt, El Salvador, Ethiopia, Ghana, India, Iraq, Nepal, New Zealand, Panama, Philippines, South Korea, and the United Kingdom. Did I miss you?
Republic of China, Taiwan.
Thank you, ma'am. Secretary Mayorkas, I present to you 21 candidates representing 16 countries who have applied to become citizens of the United States. Each of the candidates has been interviewed by an officer of USCIS and, unless exempted by the law, has demonstrated the ability to read, write, and speak words in the English language. Each has demonstrated his or her knowledge and understanding of the history and the principles and form of government of the United States. Secretary Mayorkas, I recommend that these candidates be administered the oath of allegiance, thereby admitting them to United States citizenship. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand as we swear the oath of allegiance, and please repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, and that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations. My fellow citizens of the United States, please be seated. My parents brought me to this country in 1960. We were political refugees having fled the communist takeover of Cuba. It was the second time in my mother's life that she was a refugee. In 1941, after losing her grandparents, her uncles, and an aunt, she and her parents escaped the Nazis and arrived in Cuba. From profound loss, my mother built her philosophy of personal strength, growth, and hope, and it was a straightforward one. Every day is a new life. The events of a day can transform us, who we are, and the paths we once charted. Thus, with each new day, we have the opportunity and the obligation to make ourselves better. Tomorrow, we can and we must make ourselves better than we are today, and each and every day. And our country gives us this opportunity. We can view each day for our country, the life of our country, in the same way. Today, our nation is better than it was yesterday. It is better today in part because we have in you new citizens of it. Each of you strengthened with the power and responsibilities that your American citizenship brings, and all of us strengthened as a result. Our country is also better today because its identity and its fabric as a nation of immigrants is stronger because of you. And what of our tomorrow? How, as a country, will we be better tomorrow than we are today? What is possible for us? No one believes in and speaks more passionately of us as a country of possibilities than our president. I, a naturalized United States citizen like you, have the honor of a lifetime to serve in the President's cabinet and to introduce him to you now. Please join me in welcoming Joe Biden, the 46th President of the United States of America.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Please be seated. Before I begin, any family of the people just got sworn in here today? If you are, stand up. Congratulations to you all as well. Congratulations. Congratulations. It's a good day, isn't it? All right. You get to, and by the way, if you're around on Sunday, you'll see the fireworks, 4th of July, our Independence Day. Mr. Secretary, thank you for administering the oath. I know how meaningful this event is to you personally and professionally. And I thank you and the Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, Tracy. Where's Tracy? There you go, Tracy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it for joining us in this service. Look, today, today's special guest to all of you, it's my honor to congratulate the 21 of you who earned the title of that our democracy is equal to being president. It's of the same consequence. Citizen of the United States of America. You've each come to America from different circumstances, different reasons, and 16 different nationalities. But like previous generation of immigrants, there's one trait you all share in common: courage. It takes courage to get up and leave everything you know and go to another place, no matter where it is. You know, the only homes you've ever known, the lives, the loved ones that weren't able to come for a new start in the United States of America. If I could hold a second and just point out that I'm often asked by world leaders that I'm with, particularly autocrats, how can I define America? I was with Xi Jinping on the Tibetan Plateau, and he asked me that when I traveled with him 17,000 miles. And it was a private meeting, just he and I and a contemporaneous translator. He said, "Can you define America for me?" I said, "Yeah, I can. In one word. One word. Possibilities. Possibilities." That's what America's built on. It's one of the reasons why we're viewed sometimes as being somewhat egotistical. We believe anything's possible in America. Anything's possible in America. I think about my own family's journey here. At least 2/3 of it came from, got on a coffin ship in the Irish Sea back in 1849. Having no idea whether they'd make it across the Atlantic to the United States, then to the United States of America. But certain if they did, they could do better. And they did. They did better, and they eventually built a life and raised a family in Scranton, Pennsylvania, over generations. And here I stand on the shoulders and sacrifices of my great-great-grandfather, my great-grandfather, just all that they did, because they believed. They believed like you believe. Anything's possible. So I want to thank you all for choosing us, and I mean that sincerely. Thank you for choosing the United States of America, believing that America is worthy of your aspirations, worthy of your dreams. Making this journey, you've done more than move to a new place. I've often said that America is the only nation in the world founded on an idea. Every other nation in the world is founded on basis either that your geography or ethnicity or religion. You can define almost everyone else based on those characteristics. But you can't define an American. I defy you to tell me what constitutes an American. You can't do it. We're an incredibly diverse democracy. But there is one thing that does define us as a country. We're founded on an idea that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Sounds corny to Americans as we learn this in grade school and high school. We've never fully lived up to it, but we've never, ever, ever walked away from it. And every generation opens that aperture a little bit wider. You know, and go back, as I said, since our nation's founding, the quintessential idea in America has been nurtured and enriched and advanced by the contributions and sacrifices of so many people, almost all of whom were immigrants. Native Americans were, in fact, the only people who were here. Only people who were here. And so, folks, it's dreams of immigrants like you that built America and continue to inject new energy, new vitality, new strength. We've seen that most clearly during this pandemic, with immigrants as frontline workers and as scientists and researchers on the front lines of finding vaccines. Another defining moment of our nation in the past year was NASA landing Perseverance rover on Mars, flying the Ingenuity helicopter above its surface as I talked to them. What is considered a sort of outer space Wright brothers moment. I spoke to the team about this historic mission while it was underway, which includes immigrants. The team was made up of immigrants who told me they grew up looking at the stars. Literally, not a joke. I'm not making this up. That's what they told me in our conversation. Looking at the stars, believing that only America could take them there. Well, and we see it each and every single day. Folks, among you are 6 members of the United States military. I ask you all to please stand. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your service even before. Thank you. Folks, please sit down. I was telling our new citizens in the other room before we came in that one of my most, I don't know how to say it, fulfilling moments was as vice president when I went over to Saddam Hussein's god-awful, gaudy palace. And there were, I think, 167 men and women in uniform standing in that palace. As my wife, who I'm not sure this may be the only first lady or second lady to go into a war zone, an active war zone. She was with me, and we both stood there as I was able to swear in every one of those military officers as U.S. citizens. And I thought to myself, what incredible justification for all the things that Saddam didn't believe in. And they stood, and there were a number there who had won silver stars. They're not like you, not citizens when you joined. Won silver stars, bronze stars, conspicuous service medals, Purple Hearts. And I got to swear them in the palace of a dictator. Also among this incredible group that's here are healthcare workers and frontline workers who went above and beyond the call in the fight against COVID-19. They did so in hospitals and clinics, at our National Institute of Health, the NIH, at restaurants and retailers, as educators, also in our schools. I want to thank you all for risking your lives to help others keep their country and our country going. And joining you today are your families. And I want you to know and understand that this is your day as well. I can only imagine the pride you must feel. Pride in where you come from, and who you are and the lives you've built together as America, in America, and the communities that make you stronger, make us stronger. All of you represent how immigration has always been essential to America. We're constantly renewing ourselves, constantly. When we come out of this pandemic and build an economy, we're going to build it back better. If we're going to do that, we need to fix our immigration system and fully tap the talent and dynamism in our nation. I've kept my commitment and sent an immigration reform bill to the United States Congress. It includes smart border management and security and a pathway to citizenship for 11 million undocumented people in America. With Vice President Harris's leadership, we're getting at the root causes of why people are migrating for our southern border from Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador in the first place. The violence, the corruption, the gangs, the political instability, the hunger, the natural disasters. And it made it clear that we can work together on other critical issues as well. A pathway to citizenship for dreamers, the young people who have only known America as their home. A pathway for immigrants who are here on temporary protective status, TPS, who came from countries beset by man-made and natural-made violence and disaster. And a pathway for farm workers who are here putting food on our tables, but are not citizens. Folks, in the competition for the 21st century, we need an immigration system that both reflects our values and upholds our laws. We can do both. I'll close with this. No matter where you come from, or the culture that has made us, the language we speak, or the faith we follow, one of the most basic acts of respect is inviting others into your home. You know, as we close out Immigration Heritage Month and start our nation's 4th of July weekend, I think of no better way to honor each occasion than by welcoming all of you into the White House, the People's House, I might add, designed by an Irishman. For real. And a nation shaped by the immigrant's heart. I look forward to standing with you as you embrace your new rights and responsibilities as American citizens, and as generations have done before you. So welcome, my fellow Americans. Now, before we take the Pledge of Allegiance together, I'd like to invite one guest, Sandra Lindsay. Please come up on stage. Whoa. Sandra immigrated to Queens, New York from Jamaica when she was 18 years old. And over the past, I don't believe this, 30 years, she doesn't look 30 years old, she's pursued her dream of becoming a nurse to allow her to do what she wanted to do most, give back to her new country. She earned a bachelor's degree, then a master's degree, then a doctorate degree, and her citizenship. And now she's director of nursing for critical care at a hospital on Long Island. And during the height of the pandemic, she poured her heart and soul into the work to help patients fight for their lives and to keep her fellow nurses safe. With a grandson at home prematurely, she did what she had to do. She kept her distance and kept him safe. He is safe. But she lost an aunt and an uncle to the virus. But in her pain, she didn't lose hope. When the time came, she was the first person in America to get fully vaccinated outside of clinical trials. She can now hug her grandson. She's out there making sure her patients and folks in her community are getting vaccinated so they can get back to their lives and their loved ones. Sandra, if there are any angels in heaven, as I told you, having spent a lot of time in the ICU, they're all nurses, male and female. Doctors let you live. Nurses make you want to live. Make you want to live, for real. Sandra's vaccination card and hospital scrubs and the badge that she wore will be included in the Smithsonian's National Museum American History exhibit on COVID-19. And today, she's receiving the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Outstanding American by Choice recognition, which recognizes the naturalized citizens who have made significant contributions to our country through civic participation, professional achievement, and responsible citizenship. Sandra, thank you for representing the very best of all of us. Thank you all in this room. Thank you again. This is America. Happy 4th of July. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It is now my pleasure to call to the lectern Xiomara Castro-Ventura, a new United States citizen, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our ceremony. Please remain in your seats while the President departs the East Room. Thank you.